So we're going to call the meeting to order. The Village of Sayward respectfully acknowledges that we're on the land gathered here, the unceded territory of the Comox First Nation, the traditional keepers of this land. We'll call the meeting to order. Introduction of late items. Any late items? None. Approval of agenda. Is the regular council meeting for February 1st, 2022 be approved?
I'll move.
Second.
I'll second it.
Second.
Okay, discussion. We are going to make a little change on here. Petition and delegation is going to be later during the format, if that's okay with council. All agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. And the minutes from the committee of the whole meeting held on January 25th, 2022 be adopted. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion. All in favor? Raise your hands. Opposed? Hearing none, carried. And that the minutes from the regular council meeting held on January 18th, 2022 be approved. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Second.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Thank you. Discussion. Opposed? All in favor? Mix it up a little bit. Everybody's in favor? Hearing nothing, motion carried. As I said, mentioned, petition delegations will be a little later on in the program. Correspondence. A through D. Does anybody need any correspondence pulled? No? Okay, so we're just going to accept the correspondence. We do not need a resolution on that. Number 7, council reports. Any council reports? None. I'm sorry? I heard something in the background. No? Okay, none. Reports of committees. None. Mayor's report. Just a brief, we want to welcome our new CAO, Jason Johnson, to the program. He started this morning. So we wish him all the best and we're all here to help. Thanks very much for being here. Any unfinished business? I'm sorry? Next page. We do. Under share shed. We have a verbal report from our CO. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of background on the share shed. I know that Councillor Polson was looking for some history on it. I just pulled some information, what I could find, just so that you all have a bit of background. I believe the share shed was built in 2010. It may have been the fall or winter of 2009 by the village. And so it's a village-owned building. After it was built, it looks like a report was brought to council to, what is it here? Council seek community proposals to operate the share shed and that a councillor be appointed to review the proposals with staff and that council make the final determination on a successful proponent. So it basically went up to the community to look for a group that would be willing to run the share shed. Again, the building's owned by the village. It was just a group that would actually be in the building and operating it. And I don't know if anybody came forward, so they did put out a call again. And I believe they approached the Legion at that time. And the Legion agreed to become the operator of the share shed. There was a agreement made with the Legion. It was a written agreement, as somebody had mentioned. I think that was Councillor Polson that had mentioned that. in 2010, but it was only for 2 years with an option to renew for another 2 years. And I cannot find anything since 2012. So there was a written agreement, nothing was ever done since that time. So I believe the Legion was operating it until maybe 2018, maybe 2019. I'm not sure when.
Mm.
Yeah. But then, with things that were going on and obviously COVID hit, it took a back seat and nothing was really going on at the share shed. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background on the Legion and their operations at the share shed. And moving forward, because there isn't a current agreement in place, it really is, council's prerogative to sign a new agreement or have a verbal agreement with Sayward Future Society to operate the share shed going forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any counselor have any questions for the CO, CFO?
I have one.
Counselor Kirschner?
The Legion, oh, I'm sorry. Did the Legion give up on running it, period? Or accepting the bonuses or whatever, if you want to call them that? Well, the Legion was looking after it, were they not? So did they quit that? Sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Kirschner. I believe Councillor Polson might be able to answer that question. I think she may have talked to somebody at the Legion. Do you want to answer that, Councillor
Yes.
Polson?
Yes, I did speak to one of the executive at the Legion, and she believes that somewhere around 2012 to 2014, there weren't enough volunteers, and so somehow, by some means, Howie began to open it and be there for the 2 hours, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that it's open. Those are the days that he was there to monitor the recycling shed. So the Legion has had sporadically a person going there to clean up and tidy up, dust off the shelves and go through the stuff and get rid of the old stuff that's not selling. So Tessa wasn't really sure what the position of the Legion was now, sort of post-COVID, to take over running it for those 6 hours a week. So she was going. They haven't had any meetings scheduled, so she was going to see when their next gathering was going to be and get back to me and see whether they're interested in staffing it or manning it for those days. So I'm waiting to hear back from her. And otherwise, Graham has got it almost all cleaned out, and he's not seen any signs of rodents or vermin or anything there. But he was talking to Tony, and Tony thinks that they may have been nesting in the insulation in the walls. So he was under the understanding that at some point in the future there may be new insulation put in, but that was only feedback from Graham talking to Tony. So we're just about at the point where it's almost cleaned out now, and then we can get things swept out and washed down, and hopefully hear back from the Legion if they're willing to start, and hopefully advertise in the next Sayward News when the share shed will be reopening, if there will be plans to reopen it.
Okay. What I'm questioning is the Legion's going to make a decision on whether or not they can staff it. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if they cannot staff it, then at that point it's going to be going to Sayward Futures?
Yes.
Is that the assumption?
Yes.
Okay, because if the Legion cannot staff it, they shouldn't be collecting the funds either, correct?
Well, correct, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Tinsley, you have your hand up?
Sorry, that question was just answered. Thank you.
Mhm.
Councillor Craig?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question. I'm sure it's just a matter of procedure, but a question for Councillor Polson was, has Sayward Futures made a board decision to take over the share shed yet?
No, not at this moment.
Okay, so I'm sure it will happen because I'm in favor of taking over the share shed. But just for procedural sake, we can't actually say that we're going to take it over until our board has decided we will take it over should the Legion not take it over.
If the Legion is not interested, then we will put it forth to Sayward Futures to make a decision on their behalf at that time on whether or not they want to run the share shed.
Thank you.
Sound good?
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor,
thank you, Councillor Kushner.
I would like to see it be run by the Legion. Pass them first and see what they say,
That's what Councillor Polson is doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
because they have had it for a few years now.
Yeah, no, she's in talks with the Legion, and the Legion's going to bring it to their board to make that decision.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, number 11, staff reports, 2022 local government elections. CEO, did you want to speak to that first? No? Okay. That Lisa Clark, CFO and CO at this point, be appointed as the chief election officer for the 2022 local government elections with power to appoint other elected officials as required for the administration and conduct of the 2022 local government election pursuant to section 58 of the Local Government Act. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Oh, I was opposed.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're opposed, Councillor Craig?
I am indeed, yes.
Okay. Did you want to mention why you're opposed?
Oh, sure. Just for transparency's sake, I don't believe that local people should be running a local election. I think it should always be outside people. So in that particular instance, our people can go to Tassus and run their election. Their people can come here to run our election. Just for transparency sake. Furthermore, I think Elections BC has failed miserably in its role with our local elections because they should be the ones who are in charge in sending out delegates to each town, which is a matter of obvious legislation that I feel is in oversight. But just for transparency's sake, I don't agree with local people running a local election. I feel that we should go somewhere else and somewhere else should come here just to make it arm's length. That's my
Thank you.
objection.
Okay, thank you. Next recommended resolution is that Jason Johnson, the CAO, be appointed as Deputy Chief Election Officer for the 2022 local government election. Motion, please.
So
I'll
moved.
move that.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion? Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Up.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Development variance permit application for 701 and 711 Kelsey Way. The recommended resolution is that require the lots 701 and 711 legal way, the legal address, be consolidated by the way of registering subdivision prior to insurance of the DVP. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second?
And I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. It's the mask. Next is that the owners provide an overview of their intent for development plan of the property to show the relocation of the accessory buildings within the current front setbacks can be relocated to accommodate better use of the property. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Last is the attached correspondence to be sent to the owner of lots 701 and 711 Kelsey Way and reply to their application for DVP. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. D, Council Appointment Schedule 2022. Recommended resolution is that the council receive the council appointed schedule 2022 for report and information and discussion. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
I'll move.
Second,
I'll second it.
you, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 12, Council Procedure Amendment Bylaw 479 for 2022. Recommended resolution is that the Procure Amendment Bylaw 479, 2022 be given fourth and final reading. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second? Second, thank you.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none. Motion is carried. Revenue Application Bylaw 480, 2022. The recommended resolution is the Revenue Anticipation Bylaw 480, 2022 be given first, second, and third reading. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll
I'll
move that.
Second. Need a second, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Opposed?
Thank you. Motion is carried. Draft Fireworks Regulation Bylaw XXX 2022. Did we first want to go to the CFO for any comment on that? Or no? Council, do you need any clarification on what's been drafted here? Do you need the CFO to speak to it?
I do, please. Yes.
Councillor Craig?
Yeah, there's, if you just give me 1 second, just 1 second, so I can see it here. Sorry, I did see in here somewhere that there was three dates in here. I could have sworn, looks like Halloween, New Year's, and Canada Day. I'm trying to find Canada Day in
Correct.
here, but I can't see it, but I know I did see it eventually in here. Thought I saw it anyway, unless I was mistaken. Which is odd because I
On the
cannot
first
see it.
page,
Is it on the first page?
no, page 30, page 38. Says for special events, i.e. Canada Day, movie,
Ah.
TV productions, Halloween, New Year's.
Excellent. Thank you very much for clarifying that. So when you take that special event thing, specifically for Canada Day, I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the application. All I saw was Halloween and New Year. But perhaps it was just part of special events.
I'm sorry, CFO needs clarification, Councillor Craig.
Sure, I will try to give you some. Just give me 1 second to just blast through this real quick. Name and address, name and addresses. Sorry, if you just move on, I will look through this and I will come back to it.
Okay. Thank you. So
Oh,
that council received, sorry, Councillor Paulson?
I was just, is it at the top of page 41 that where it says a fireworks permit will only be issued for the following types of events? Community
Yes.
events that are open to the public.
That's exactly it. Thank you very much, Councillor Polson. Yeah, I didn't see Canada Day on there, so perhaps that was an oversight. Maybe we can add a section E in there for Canada Day.
Actually, I think Canada
Yeah,
Day is
Canada
covered under
Day.
A.
Is under A.
Well, I think
Yes,
it's covered under
that's
a
correct.
community event that's open to the general public.
Okay.
Yes, Canada Day is covered under A.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much for that clarification.
Thanks.
So the council received the draft fireworks regulation bylaw for staff report and information and discussion. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second?
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion. One of the things that I asked is we are going to get legal to look at the bylaw and also to make sure that our enforcement clause is up to speed to have, for example, the RCMP be able to issue the tickets once a ticket book is done. Sorry, Councillor Craig?
Oh, no, please finish. Please finish. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I have a question for our CFO on this, specifically regarding the $1,000 page 42, 13B, the $1,000 form of security. So just for clarification, if one of my neighbors, for example, wishes to set off Roman candles during a Halloween night, would they have to pay $1,000 in the form of a security with their application, as well as $100 application fee, and the $1,000 being refundable, of course? But would they have to do that as part of their application as a resident?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Councillor Craig. No, they would not. And that is because if you read section 13A, it reads where the exception is applied under E, permit info required is limited to C, H, I, and J. So if you go down to E, it says proof of a valid fireworks supervisor certificate, except no fireworks supervisor certificate is required where the fire chief determines that the fireworks being used are low hazard fireworks, which includes, as you can see, lawn lights, showers, fountains, pinwheels, Roman candles. This exception, this is the important part in E, this exception is for use of fireworks on a resident's property only. So because that section E specifically talks to residents, the exception is applied and the permit info then is limited to section C, H, I, and J. So no, a resident who's setting off, like you say, Roman candles or something, does not have to do the security deposit. Thank you.
Lovely.
No, however, they do need a permit. Okay, so that was a discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. We're going to hop from 12 back to 5. We see we have our delegation here. We're just going to get set up. Good evening, Mary Ruth.
Good evening. Oh, good evening. Yes. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
So, ladies and gentlemen of council, this is Mary Ruth Snyder, who is the Executive Director of the Campbell River Chamber of Commerce. Go ahead, Mary Ruth.
Yes, good evening. Where would you like me to start? I can start way at the beginning or I can start in the middle. I've been in my role for the Campbell River and District Chamber of Commerce since August of 2019. I began in the middle of the forestry strike that rolled into rail blockades, that rolled into the global pandemic. It has been a very interesting 29 months. one of the things we realized very quickly when I began with a brand new board at the time is that we were in desperate need of a new website and new social media links. And so we undertook all of that work, and we were very fortunate to be paired with a student from Timberline Secondary that built us a fantastic new website. And now we are taking that to the next level. Lisa, can I share my screen at this point?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, there we go. Does everybody see the website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So on our website, as time permits, I know you all are extremely busy with your full-time jobs and lives, plus running a village as mayor and council. But I really would hope that you would take the time at some point to explore what it is we do. A lot of people have sort of forgotten over the years what chambers do. Now, we've been in place for 90 years. We were founded in 1931, and the main role of the Chamber of Commerce right across Canada, there's 450 of us across the country, is to advocate on behalf of businesses and community organizations with every level of government, all four of them, as well as help be the intersection point between businesses, organizations, the general public, educational facilities, and the levels of government. And so we also happen to offer many cost-saving measures to the members. And so here on the front page, you'll see some of the work that we do. We do regular interviews through Shaw Spotlight, which is Shaw TV. This is one where I was speaking with Lisa Domey, who is the president of NIC. We also feature all of the Canadian Chamber events. We have several coming up soon, and all the webinars that they offer. We also have all of the latest industry reports, the Business Recovery Task Force report, the aquaculture, the forestry sector. We have a page fully dedicated to the forestry, and here there are links to all of their most recent reports and or summaries from a variety of sources, including Kofi. And it's just, we really try to streamline the flow of information that anybody might be looking for. Now, if you look across the very top navigation, you will see home and about, and under about, you'll see our history, the logo artist, that was Greg Henderson, who designed our new logo about 2 years ago. Majorprojects.ca is a website project specifically with BC Hydro, because we have BC Hydro is going to be doing 3 of the dams upgrades starting next year. So the John Hart Dam, the Lador Dam, and the Strathcona Dam are all going to be, 2 of them are being seismically upgraded, and one has a spillway project that's going to be happening. So there's going to be about 8 years of work at BC Hydro at the Elk Falls starting next year. So this particular website, majorprojects.ca, outlines all of that work, and I will take you there for just a second so you can get a sense. What you're able to do is go right to majorprojects.ca, and you are able to register as a supplier. So last April, we opened up a supplier directory, and here a company is able to register their company and explain what it is that they do. So we have, I believe it's 45 companies now registered. And the RFP for the civil work for the first project has gone out. And so the civil work, whoever that contractor is going to be, should be chosen by the spring. And then this will be the only way that anyone interested in work is going to be able to get that, because the civil contractor and ultimately the actual contractor, they will simply utilize this database that is being built here on this directory to find the suppliers for the work. Again, also because of COVID, it allows it all to happen virtually. And so again, it streamlined that process. So back over to our website. We also have added underneath information a new link here. There's many links here. Again, I would encourage you to take some time, but the policy development has links directly to the Canadian Chamber of Commerce policy resolutions and the BC Chamber. So every spring, the BC Chamber brings new resolutions forward, and once they are passed and ratified, then that package and booklet is printed and it's given to the Premier and all of the provincial ministers, and they use it as a guideline as they are developing their own policies. And same at the Canadian level. In the fall, the new resolution booklet is given to the Prime Minister and his ministers. And that is our role at the provincial level and the national level, is to work on a daily and weekly basis with the members who have been elected to make sure that they don't forget about the people that elected them. And we bring forward any issues very quickly as they come up. And then you will see here again across the top here, this link takes you to the membership details. It explains the costs, as well as there's several benefits. These are all cost saving benefits for anyone who is a member, such as Esso Fuel. FreightCom is a great organization because they work with about 7 or 8 different freight companies and they streamline any shipping costs. And again, I would encourage you to work your way through that. And here is where the directory will live. So the directory, again, top level, easy access. And the goal is that the directory will have approximately 10 top level categories, but it will be searchable by category or by just somebody saying, well, I don't see the category there, what I'm looking for, but let's try trees. There's going to be 3 levels of tags on every business if it's applicable. So say somebody is a gardener, but they also are an arborist. Well, they would, if you just typed in trees, they would show up as an arborist and as a gardener, and it would also give you their location. But if you're in Campbell River, say you walk into the visitor center because you're visiting the area for the first time, and you want to come up to Sayward for the day, they can type in the word Sayward, and every single business that is in Sayward would pop up so that they would have all of their information in one place. So it's searchable for anybody in the district. So Quadra Island, Cortez Island, Tassus, Gold River, Sayward, Oyster River, and Campbell River. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm sold already.
There you go. Councillor Craig, you had a question?
I do. Thank you very much, Mary Ruth. This is a very good presentation so far. I do like your website. To be listed as a business on here, does one need a business license through the municipality in which they serve to provide proof that they are a registered business to be on your site?
Not necessarily. Did I stop sharing my screen? Because I wanted to. Okay. Because I know that in the district, there is not business licensing for anybody beyond the village boundary or the beyond the city boundary. So there's a lot of businesses that exist in the district that don't necessarily fall into either of the municipalities to actually have a business license. So The goal is to have everybody listed who wants to be listed, whether or not they have a license. But I suspect that some people that don't have a license that are supposed to have a license will be not wanting to be listed, if that makes sense.
Follow-up question, if I may.
Yes, of course.
There are 3 different types to register a business in the province of BC and in the country of Canada. There's incorporated, there's limited, sole proprietorship, and partnership. So I guess there's 4 that I know of. I could be more than that, but from my understanding, it's incorporated, limited, sole proprietorship, and partnership. And then you get into the nonprofits and all that other stuff. But those are the 4 main things. What about one of those 4 criteria?
No, well, so we have a simpler system. So if you are a nonprofit, it's $120 a year. If you are a sole proprietor, that means you work by yourself and you have no employees, that's $180 a year. And if you are a business, meaning you have 2 people that work for you or 1 person that works for you or 150 people that work for you, it's $330 a year.
I see. Thank you.
And municipalities would fall under businesses because you have more than 1 employee. So for the village of Sayward or the village of Sayward, it would be $330 a year. But the money that you would save at Staples, you would pay for that in like 2 weeks. So I would encourage you to become a member, yes.
So the benefit to Sayward is, as you said, somebody walks into the chamber or wherever in Campbell, types in Sayward, and all the businesses come up. Correct?
Well, that's
So
yes,
whether
that's
that be nonprofit, right? So Sayward Futures,
yes.
Mary's Knitting, or what have you.
Yes, whoever would like
Is
to
that
be
correct?
on the list, yes.
Okay, now who supplies you those names for the list? Is that done through the municipality, the business, the one who carries the license?
Well, what's really
The membership, pardon me?
interesting, yes, so what's really interesting is that the short answer is yes. So the city of Campbell River, as an example, they do have business licensing, so they have a comprehensive list that gets updated on a monthly basis. So they share that publicly. It's somewhere buried on their website, but they do send out notification to people to say, like, who have asked to be notified. And that's where we got some of the information from. And so anybody who's beyond the boundary of the city of Campbell River, like who's in the district, that is going to be a bit of a challenge, but that's why I have a North Island College intern working with me. I am the sole paid staff for the chamber. It is a labor of love. As my neighbors can attest, my lights go on about 5 o'clock in the morning and usually don't go off until from my office and stay on until the wee hours of the morning. And I'm very thankful to the North Island College student for gathering that additional information. So a lot of it is going to, like, that's outside of the municipal boundaries. Just the other day on around Sayward, I noticed somebody locally, and I don't know who the woman was, but she posted saying that I think she must have like a B&B or something, and she's not in the village, she is out in the district somewhere, that she would like to have an idea of the local farms and the local offerings. And so everybody started texting her and saying, hey, we've got a little business here and we've got a little business here. So I suspect, 1, I'm going to reach out to her, and 2, I will also put a post out on around Sayward to help to gather that information. So, but any list that you have as the village, it would be appreciated as an Excel spreadsheet and help us to minimize some of our workload.
Well, that's something that if we became a member and we were going to advertise or put anybody on that list, the council could make a decision saying that businesses with business licenses are ones that make it to the list, correct?
Sure.
I'm
yeah,
sorry, you're muted now.
Yeah,
We lost you.
oh, did you lose me?
You're there, just quiet. It's quiet for some reason.
Oh, okay. Am I speaking loud enough now?
Yeah, now you are. Now you are.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, if you have a business license list, then those who are on your business license list would be included in the directory, yes.
Okay,
And
thank you.
for the village of Sayward, in terms of becoming an active member, it would allow the village and its employees and its elected officials to be able to take advantage of the costs, savings, benefits that come with membership. So, yeah, in addition to the policies, like if you decide, like as mayor and council, that you're not getting enough traction around a particular issue that you really, really need the provincial government to pay attention to, then that's something that you can bring to my attention, that I can take to the CEO of the provincial chamber, and then she can bring it up with the premier and the appropriate ministers the next time she meets with them. And she usually meets with them about every week and a half or so. So there are additional communication avenues through the chambers for the smaller communities that otherwise might get missed. And that was really kind of the initiative and the impetus for chambers being created in the first place in the early 1900s, is that everybody felt they needed more of a voice, especially around businesses and tourism and community organizations, than they were able to get traction with their elected provincial and federal officials, only because they have such a large job to do.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mary Ruth, for the presentation. We appreciate it. Council will make a decision on membership,
Sure.
and we'll get back to you. Oh, sorry, Councillor Craig has another question.
I do, please.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Meredith, I'm actually, I have a question about the legislation around the Chamber of Commerce. Specifically, you have the BC Chamber of Commerce with
Yes.
their directorship, and I'm familiar with their directorship, and then you have each city with their own Chamber of Commerce in it. Now,
Yes.
is each city allowed to have their own strategy, their own voice, their own independence? Are they an
Yes.
autonomous group? Because I'll ask you. I'll ask you why I'm asking this, because I'm reading here. Had to do some Googling to find it while you were in your presentation. I apologize for that, but I'm reading an article out of Fort St. John that Dawson Creek, Tumbler Ridge, and Chetwynd Chamber of Commerce are all voicing their opinions, negative opinions on the proof of the vaccination program. So are they allowed to voice those opinions without getting, say, deregistered by the provincial Chamber of Commerce body?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Excellent. All right. Thank
It's
you.
called free enterprise.
We live in a democracy, and the chamber is probably one of the most democratic, apolitical organizations in the country. And I think that's why we work and why we work so well. And the other thing is that every community is unique. So I lived in Victoria for 18 years. I lived in the Comox Valley for 9, Campbell River for 3, and now I've been here in Sayward for 1. Not one of them. The only thing they have in common is that they're all on Vancouver Island. They are so unique individually, and that's why each area really does need its own voice, because there's no way that a chamber for the regional district here would work in the Comox Valley, because the two are literally night and day in so many different ways. Not in bad ways, they're just different. And so I think, and that's one of the things that's really appreciated by the provincial leadership, is that they do understand that everybody is completely different. Our constituents are completely different, and we are solely funded by our membership. We are not funded by the city. We're not funded by the provincial government. We are an independent, apolitical body, which makes us kind of special in this country.
Cool. Okay, well, again, thank you very much, Mary Ruth, for your presentation. You have a
Yes,
good night.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, and I look forward to further discussions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Night, everybody.
Good night. We'll just wait for Mary Ruth. There we go. So I'd like to make a motion that the Village of Sayward become a member of the Campbell River Chamber of Commerce for an amount of 330 for the year. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
And I will second it.
do I have discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. 13, Municipal Signing Authority. With changes to council positions, a new deputy mayor and staff, the new CAO, will financial signatures authorities for required to conduct village business. So the recommended resolution that council authorize Mayor Mark Baker, Deputy Mayor Sue Polson, Chief Administrative Officer Jason Johnson, and Chief Financial Officer Lisa Clark to be the signing authorities respecting municipal financial matters for the Village of Sayward. Do I have a motion, please?
So
I'll
moved.
move that.
Second. Discussion. All in favor? Right, opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. 14, public question period is a maximum of 15 minutes. For the purpose of public question period is to enable citizens to ask questions of council about issues that are important to the citizen asking the question. Speakers are asked to limit their question to one each. And if time permits, everyone has the opportunity to ask questions. Speaker may ask a second question. Citizens will be asked to state their name and address. We do not have anybody in the gallery and nothing's been sent in, no correspondence. Okay, so in camera, we have none. So we are going to call for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Opposed? Hearing none, all in favor? Yep. Motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned.